Welcome to Katie Calls BS, the podcast where we cut through the noise in course creation, digital products, and business strategy. I'm Katie Miller, bringing you blunt advice, real action steps, and the occasional F-bomb because building a business is hard and the BS isn't helping. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Katie Calls BS. This week, we're going to talk about scaling. And I think we have the idea of scaling our businesses wrong. I'm pretty sure most business owners get scaling and growing confused. Growing a business looks like increasing your revenue and adding clients. Scaling your business looks like increasing your revenue faster than your costs. I think people get that mixed up. We grow our businesses when we start them, and we're trying to expand. We're trying to add more clients. We scale for flexibility and options. If you are like most business owners I talk to, you like your business where it is, but you kind of wish it made more money. This is the episode you're going to want to stay and stick around for. Somewhere along the way, scaling got confused with hiring more people, launching more things, adding more complexity. That misunderstanding is quietly blocking a lot of really smart business owners from making more without doing more. We don't want that. So let's talk about what scaling actually is and what it isn't. When I talk about scaling, because I talk about scaling with digital products, I've talked about scaling with a course, I've talked about scaling in different ways. But a lot of people believe that scaling means growing bigger. It means more offers, more clients, more moving parts within your business, but it's not true. Scaling actually means earning more without increasing your personal workload. It means protecting your time, your energy, and your focus. It means improving how your value and your expertise is delivered. It does not mean multiplying it. Scaling doesn't mean adding more to your plate. That is the last thing that we need. It's about making your business work without needing more of you and your time. You know that you are ready to scale your business or that you want to scale your business when you don't want more one-on-one clients, when you can't take more on or you don't want to take more on. You intentionally limit your client load. Maybe you don't want a massive team of people. Maybe you want one or two people on your team or within your business, or you're fine with no one else in your business, just you. You don't want to be online 24/7. You do want more income though. You want a way to bring in more income for your business without showing up more or doing more. You want more breathing room because isn't that kind of the whole point of your business? You want to bring in more revenue, but you don't want to be doing more. This isn't about blowing up your business. It's about stabilizing it in terms of your income, your sanity, your time, and then letting it support you in a better way. We tell ourselves we'll know when it's time to scale. I want to wait until X number of clients. I want to have this revenue. I need to grow my business to this first. I hear this all the time and it makes me crazy. But waiting to feel ready is what's keeping you stuck. Scaling isn't this like intuitive thing where we're like, I'm going to know when I'm ready to scale. It's actually decision-based on evidence. It's not vibes. You're running a business. I know we know that, but sometimes you need to remember that you're running a business based on actual evidence, not just your vibes for the day. Sometimes we do run it on vibes. And there's evidence that you can pay attention to. Some of the signs that matter are repeating the same explanations. I talk about this literally every week. If you're repeating the same explanations within your business, that's a sign for a lot of things. If your calendar is full, but your revenue is still kind of hanging around the same spot, it might be time to look at what you can do to change that. If every aspect of your business relies on you, that's a problem. If every little piece of your business needs to go through you, that's a problem. If your best offers rely on you being present, that might be a sign that you need to scale. The things that don't really matter are comparison to others. We're all guilty of that. If you're bored, the pressure to keep up with other people. If everyone else is doing it, who cares? We cannot just rely on our intuition to let us know when we want to scale, because that's usually shaped by fear, being exhausted within our business, life, all the things going on, and just wrapped up in identity stuff. But when you're in the work, you can't really see the system clearly. You're too tied up in what's going on. And business owners, founders especially, often mistake our discomfort for the need to do more and to expand rather than sitting in that discomfort. So doing something like a diagnostic is going to beat your gut check. While I strongly believe in a gut check, sometimes you have to actually go through a framework or a diagnostic to understand what to do next. You can't really fix something if you haven't looked at what the issue is. The next thing that we have to look at is what scaling looks like when you actually like your business. So if you're someone who enjoys where your business is right now and you aren't sure where the next step is or what scaling would look like for you, because I know a lot of business friends who love their businesses as they are. They don't want to add more clients. They like the cadence of their clients right now. They're happy with the revenue. Sure, if they added more, it would be cool, but they don't want to add on more clients. They have consistent hours. They're happy with where it is. If this is you, scaling for you is going to look a little different. It's not going to look like adding a ton more. It's not going to look like adding a huge digital product suite. You're going to have the same clients, but you might have a higher revenue per client. You're going to have fewer decisions and a cleaner delivery. That's less hands-on time for you. You might have one or two digital products that are doing real work, but there's more options for revenue, especially for hyper-local businesses or anyone not looking to use or purchase your primary service. So you have your primary service, but you have also these one or two digital products that are doing real work. You're not just throwing out random products that aren't really doing anything or don't really have a job. There's more margin and there's less noise. This is scaling that supports your life. It doesn't consume it. We don't want anything in your business, especially if you love it as it is right now, to take up more. Our businesses and work should not consume our life. It is one piece of our life and one piece of who we are. Now let's shift to what goes wrong when we talk about scaling, because a lot can go wrong when we talk about scaling. And I see so many business owners immediately talk about adding something new. That's the first place that people go. They usually tell me, okay, but if I want to scale, I need to revamp my offers and add something new, but I don't want to do that. Great. I don't want you to do it either. Most people don't have a missing offer problem. They don't need to add something new. They have too many offers. They have too many options. They have overlapping promises. They have confusing entry points. I was guilty of the same thing within my business. You're doing too much for your clients, which comes from years of saying yes and a lack of boundaries, most likely, because that's what I've seen. That's what my issue was. That's what I've seen with my own clients. But this is choice overload, which leads to lower conversion. If people have too many choices, they tend to not actually pick one because they just are like overwhelmed and they can't do it. The more options that you add, it's really hard for buyers to decide. That's decision fatigue. That's just, they're like, it's too much. I don't want to pick one. And for you, the delivery is just a mess. Your clients are confused by the process. They can't do it. When your offers are doing too many things, it becomes an issue. We think that adding one more product is going to help our clients. But the reason why adding just one more product often reduces sales is because every time you add another offer, you think that you're increasing your options for your clients, and that's a good thing. But what you're actually doing is you increase decision fatigue. We all know that we have way too many decisions to make in a day anyways. Your audience doesn't know where to start. They don't know which product to pick or what the best option is for them. So it ends up being really confusing for them. They don't know what the right place is for them, what's for them, what actually solves their problem. So they end up doing nothing. It's not a motivation issue. It's a cognitive load issue for your clients. That's the last thing that you want for them. When they feel unsure, they don't buy. They end up waiting. They think, oh, I'll come back to that later. That's a future issue. they don't come back. So having more offers leads to less conversions for you, which is exactly what we don't want. And when we have conflicting offers, that ends up diluting your positioning. So if you sell a course for beginners, a mastermind for advanced clients, and one-on-one support for anyone who needs help, and those are your three things that you have, which are all great offers. But if you have those three all at the same time, but there's no clear through line, your message gets really muddy fast. Your audience can't tell who you're helping. Do you work with beginners? Are you helping people who are more advanced in the process? Or do you help just anyone? What are you best at? People don't know what you're the expert at. I can't tell if you're really good at helping people who are just getting started or someone who is further along in business. Are you working with people who are more at the beginning of the process, who are more just able to start and maybe lower costs? Or are you working with more high-end people who are able to afford more? You might be missing out on higher paying clients as a result. They don't know what problem you're solving. And when they don't know that, you become really easy to ignore, which is what we don't want. You need to be able to clearly direct people with your offers, your website, your messaging, not with spending hours on the phone and doing 50,000 sales calls. That strong positioning comes from saying, this is the problem I solve best. This is how I help. This is the next step. A lot of that comes from your messaging, having clear offers, having all of this on your website, having all of this in your copy. Runs through everything. This is why we work with so many different people on our websites, on our branding, with copywriters, all of it. But having conflicting offers kind of blurs it all, makes it really messy. If you have too many offers, quietly destroying your margins and your clarity, which is not what we want at all. The part that people don't really want to talk about is that every offer that you have, if you have 15 different offers, behind every single one of those offers is delivery time. There's support expectations. There's updates that have to happen every single time something needs updating. There's emotional labor behind that. Even digital products aren't passive. We know that. They require updates. They require delivery. Especially if you have too many of them, you're splitting your energy across multiple sales pages, multiple onboarding flows, multiple buyer expectations. Nothing is optimized. You're spending your time across all of that. And your margins shrink not because pricing is wrong, because your time and attention are spread too thin. That's why we burn out. That's why we can't move our business along. That's why we can't grow our revenue. That's because we're doing too much. When the delivery is too complex, when we are spread too thin, it's not sustainable. That's where burnout sneaks in. Because every offer requires different explanations, different systems, different levels of involvement from you. You end up context switching constantly. So this needs customization. This doesn't. I need to be live for this. Okay, I need to set up the system for this. We need to do this for this. I need to be on for this and not for this. It's too much. The business starts to feel too heavy. Not because you're failing, but because it's too complicated to maintain. We go down this rabbit hole of I need to set up a sales page for that. I need to set up an email system for this. I need to do this for this. And I need to have this for this. And now I need to have digital products for this. And you end up just putting things off to the side. I'm not going to do digital products because that's too much right now. I need to be live right now because that's where the money is. It's not because that's where the money is. It's just because you put this thing off to the side because everything else is too complicated. Sustainable businesses aren't built on more ideas. They're built on fewer, clearer offers that work together. All the things that you have right now probably don't work together. They're probably their own little islands. So the more offers that you have doesn't necessarily mean more revenue. It just needs to be more clear and they need to work together. They can't be their own islands. My guess is that you need to subtract something, which is really scary for a lot of people. They don't want to subtract things. You might have redundant offers. You might have low-performing products that are hanging out somewhere in your ecosystem that you don't want to get rid of, or you forgot about, or the things that exist just in case. They've been hanging out for a while. Maybe they were really great. They performed really well. You just never took them down. Or products that you've outgrown. You can take them down. It's okay. I see so many clients who leave old freebies or old digital products up on their websites because they forgot about them or they performed really well like a year ago or 6 months ago and they don't want to take them down just in case somebody needs it. Scaling often starts with a cleanup. It's not a development of new things. You got to clean up what's in your business still. When I talk about scaling with digital products, I get, well, of course, isn't the thing for me. Digital products aren't right for me. A digital product doesn't fit my business. I know you hear digital products and think signature course, massive curriculum, months of content. It's boring. It's not for me. So when that doesn't fit their business, they opt out entirely. So if you hear that and you're like, I'm tuning out right now, the reality is a digital product can look like whatever you want it to look like. Scaling can look like small support products, tools that reduce your involvement, resources that replace repetitive work, products that complement your client work that you do. It can be whatever you want it to be. Digital products can look like whatever you want it to look like. My job is to figure out what that looks like for you and your business. Digital products are a range of things. There are a lot of options. Creating a digital product suite is much more sustainable than having one signature product for most businesses. Usually, successful digital products are going to be supporting the rest of your business. If you tried one once and you're like, meh, I don't know, I tried one, and it's like, it's okay, it's not doing so great, or I have a freebie that kind of leads into this one thing, you're not trying digital products. You threw something out there and hoped for the best. Here's what you can do today or this week to get started in this world, because I've had so many people in the last 6 months, in the last year, tell me, I'm going to do digital products eventually. I'm going to get there eventually. I really want to build this passive income, which it's not passive. I want to build this automatic income. I want to have extra income. I want to do this side of the business. I just need to get here. I need to get there. Here's what you can do this week. It's not going to take you that long, I promise. You're going to grab a piece of paper. You're going to list out all your offers, and I mean all of your offers. We're talking the paid ones, the free ones. I want everything that is out in your ecosystem right now. List them all out. Then you're going to make 2 columns. One column is the offers you love. The second is offers that drain you or you're kind of like meh about. After that, I want you to circle the ones in either column on your paper that require you to be hands-on. The ones that require you to be live, the ones that require you to do something. Then I want you to cross off any that can be removed completely. Maybe you're done with them. Maybe they don't work for you anymore. They don't make sense in your business. Your business has evolved. Whatever it may be, cross it off. Now I want you to look at if there's anything that doesn't need your time. Is there anything that can be simplified? And I want you to understand that we're not building anything yet. You're just taking an inventory. We aren't even looking at what brings in the most revenue. I want you to look at this from offers you enjoy and offers you don't. And then take off the ones that you're not going to do anymore from your website or wherever they're living. We're not building yet. We're just diagnosing. This is where we start with the infrastructure audit, by the way. This is exactly what we do. It's not to push you into more things, but we have to start with figuring out what actually belongs in your business and what doesn't, and what needs to change before you add anything new. We cannot build a digital product suite without understanding what is working and what's not working. Because scaling isn't about becoming something else or doing more, and it's not growing. The whole entire point of scaling is to make your life easier and to continue to evolve your business into something sustainable and something you love. Isn't that the point of your business? You cannot keep doing what you did when you started your business. You can't do it the same way because we're not in the same world of when we started our business. If you like your business as it is right now, protect that. You don't have to change anything. I'm not telling you to change anything, add anything massive, but I know most of us want to build automatic income and we only have so many hours in the day. There are ways to do that without completely exploding things. Why wouldn't you build a business that works better for you with fewer moving parts, clearer decisions, and systems that support the amazing work you're already doing? It's all about supporting what you're already doing. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time. If this episode hit home, your next step isn't to build anything. It's to audit what you already have. I offer a paid infrastructure audit where I review your current offers, delivery load, and where your business is relying too heavily on you. You'll get a clear decision doc and a Loom walkthrough outlining what actually makes sense next. The link is in the show notes.